Children die in wars. Children suffer in wars. This applies to all wars. If someone truly cares about children, they will care about the children suffering in all wars, not just the children and babies suffering in a war in which there is an agenda to further a demonizing narrative. Millions of children, a number far greater than the total number of all the people of all ages that live in Gaza, millions upon millions of children are suffering greatly from wars and genocides raging across the planet. They are completely ignored, these children victims of these other wars, as if they do not exist. Few to no one cares about the millions of children suffering in these wars and genocides in the Congo region, Darfur, other parts of Sudan, Yemen, Myanmar, North Nigeria, along with wars and terror in Ukraine, Mali, Burkina Faso, Somalia, Mozambique, South Thailand, and in many other places, Haiti also. Few to no one cares about these children because far too often compassion is about who can be blamed and about how children can be exploited to further narratives instead of about real concern for the suffering of all children. Hamas abuses children by brainwashing them to hate and to believe their lives must be devoted to murdering Jews. Hamas wages war and terror, using children and civilians as their human shields to hide behind and beneath. Hamas built a vast multi-billion-dollar tunnel network to protect themselves and did not spend a penny to build a single bomb shelter for the children and civilians living above ground in the densely populated enclave. Hamas started a war when it mass murdered, sexually abused, and committed other atrocities against defenseless people in Israel on October 7, 2023. No one should want the children of Gaza or children anywhere else to suffer, including the children of Israel. War and murder are not the same, no matter how many people try to equate the two in order to legitimize murder. Murder is a grave crime against humanity. War is tragic, one of the worst things human beings do to one another, but war is not murder. Murder and war are not the same. No one with even half of a heart and conscience would defend the murdering of babies and children on any side of any conflict and war, even when accusations about genocide, real or not, are at play. Casualties of war and murder are not the same and must not continue to be conflated in order to fulfill narratives that demonize and that keep war alive. The word genocide is exploited by Hamas supporters to justify Hamas murdering. Hamas openly declares its genocidal ambitions and has proven time and time again that when given the opportunity, Hamas will murder, sexually abuse, kidnap, and commit other atrocities. Just as war and murder are not the same, so it is for war and genocide, which are not the same. Many people purposefully call the war that took place in Gaza a genocide in order to delegitimize Israel and to legitimize the continuation of the murdering that Hamas and many of its supporters seek. Anyone that truly cares about children will have concern for the lives of all children, including the children of people they may or may not hate. Their concern would not be selective or based on bigotry, political or religious narratives and objectives. They would not want the children of Gaza or anyone else to suffer, including they would not want the children of Israel to suffer. They would never justify, defend, or excuse murdering babies and children, not by deflection, denial, or anything else, including the murdering Hamas and company did on October 7th, when a mother, her baby, and her small child were kidnapped by Hamas and later returned to Israel in coffins after having been murdered by Hamas. There were even many that defended that. Ask anyone that supports Hamas and also claims to care about children. Anyone that's claiming that they care about children, but they also support Hamas, ask them if they support resistance by any means, because resistance by any means including murdering babies and children, that murdering babies and children is acceptable to those that argue for resistance by any means. Many will say it is because their hatreds, their bigotries, their political or religious agendas are more important than standing up against murder itself, unequivocally. The lives of babies and children are only of interest to many if they can be exploited, if there's nothing to be gained to further their biases, political or religious narratives, or their need to virtue signal and to be part of the in crowd, if not, because otherwise, if not for those reasons, they could care less. Even child marriage, which is destroying the lives of countless children all over the world, is ignored. Hence, the worldwide silence as millions of children are being killed or are dying throughout the wars, throughout the world, not only in the many ongoing wars, genocides, terror attacks, but also from excruciating poverty, environmental destruction and poisoning, and more.